I pictured us in Jabba's palace and we're both frozen in carbonite together.
Yeah.
And Leia thinking that it's Han Solo's, it's actually us and we're trying to do it. And Jabba's like, no, and like unfreeze it. And we're both like, and then it unfreezes and we both fall to the ground and you're just breathing heavily. And you're just going, and that's why Canada, all of your lakes should have a different name. And I'm just like, Garrett, this is why Canada's freezing us right now because wait, where are we?
And
it's
like,
just in Jabba's palace.
And I'm like, wait, okay. In that case, I'd like to retry that. Canada.
And Leia immediately just freezes us in carbonite again. They move the Han Solo right after that.
We both freeze at the same time, and we're both in there just like on top of each other's faces like this.
Yeah.
And then Shelby's who is dressed as Princess Leia is like, no. And then she's like, you know what? Actually, this is fine.
No, this is good. This will make for a very quiet ride home.
And she's driving the barge, but we're in the back just like this.
Yeah, just like frozen, but like smiling. Like just go like frozen in carbonite. That's awesome. Garrett, it's now time for everybody's favorite part of the podcast where you give us suggestions about how you feel about things. And today's topic, shocker, is not about Costco, but about the other C of this podcast, Canada.
That's our entire podcast.
Just Costco, Canada, and
just my ridiculous attempts at entertaining people and your actual genuine attempts at it.
For some reason,
successful
at
ones.
the end of all things, we will have fought the horde of hell, the legions of Satan's armies, and somehow we will always end up in Canada.
Yeah.
So let's just rip this Band-Aid off, pal. What's your suggestions?
So you know how we're renaming the Gulf of Mexico?
We're not.
I kind of figured that, like all things, Canada would follow suit. And so I figure it's only a matter of time before they're renaming the Great Lakes.
Oh, you can't get better than Lake Superior. It's literally the top echelon of a name. It's Superior. Oh, okay. All right.
So in the time frame that Canada decides to do this, we will have exploded on the internet.
Yes.
And this will be known. So I just figure let's get ahead of the curve.
I like it.
Is it curve or curb?
Curve. You're driving going 60 miles out. Let's get ahead of the curve. And you just drive right on it. Like,
I have some suggestions for Canada.
Okay.
For what to rename your lakes.
I feel like that's the last thing they need, but you know what? Let's do it.
All right. So my suggestion for Lake Michigan, it should be renamed Lake Shove Off Hosers. And if you don't like that suggestion, we can call it Lake You've Got a Bag, I've Got a Bag of Milk.
Why did I sign up for this?
You didn't. I made the agenda, remember?
Oh, that's right. I just have to follow along.
Lake Erie can be Lake Stay Over There, guy.
Oh. Oh, my gosh.
Lake Ontario, we can call it Lake, since it's the closest one to the French-speaking part, we can call it Lake Sin Notre Cible de Reb Porte-Leveux.
Was that your attempt at French?
That is French for this is our maple syrup, not yours.
Why couldn't you name Ontario that? Because that isn't. Oh wait, that is Ontario.
Yeah,
So you want to? Okay, because that's close to Quebec, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Lake Superior can be called Lake Sorry Not Sorry.
Okay, yeah. No, that actually makes sense.
And if you don't like that suggestion, the backup can be Lake What a Kerfuffle.
Oh my gosh. Are we out of lakes yet?
There's one more.
Okay.
Lake Huron.
Huron.
Can just stay Lake Huron.
Okay, Huron. Not Huron.
Huron. Yeah. I need a Huron.
Huron. I need a Huron till the end of the night. He's gotta be cool and he's gotta be Canadian and he has to be fat with syrup.
The alternate names for this one can be Don't Let Your Imagination Run a Canuck.
I'm just waiting for the drums to take us out of this hell. Hey, all you banter biscuits. Welcome to February.
We fumbled over our words a bit there, didn't we?
And if you haven't already, we might be fumbling all over our words, but you don't have to fumble all over your keyboard by clicking like and subscribe wherever you listen to Banter Gravy and giving us a 5-star. That's right. Count it. 1, 2, 3,
3, 4, 5.
Star
We're not
review.
gonna make it out of this podcast alive.
You could have just said alive. The syllables worked better.
Really dark.
So
remember last time when I said I would never make an agenda?
Yeah,
I did. I just made one.
Okay. Yeah. That sounds.
And I installed a new folder in our shared drive, which is another no-no.
Okay.
Not my monkey, not my circus.
Yeah.
And yet I made it. So we found out that we couldn't say the word February.
Do you think when they were making the Gregorian calendar,
Sorry, the what?
the Gregorian calendar, that the Pope is just there getting fed grapes by Charles? He's like, Charles, make a month. It needs to be 28 days, sometimes 29 when we feel like it. And it's going to be called February. Okay, well, how do you spell it? F-E-B, and then a pirate comes in. Yar, Pope. That's good. R-U-A.
Yeah.
R-Y. So February? No, Charles. February.
And then Charles just scurries out like a pansy, just like, oh yes sir, right away. And then he says, stop, Charles. Give it a groundhog as well.
And execute the pirate. He's a Protestant, and we can't have that here in the Vatican.
Yeah. Lord knows. Wait,
Yeah.
he actually does know.
And then another guy's like, wow, those English lessons are really working well.
Yeah.
He's speaking it fluently, not a single Latin prose.
Yeah. All right, dude. So
I want to compliment your hair real quick. Garrett has his cute little tassel now.
Oh, are we going to talk about that?
Garrett has this cute little tassel now.
We're on video now, so actually I can do stuff.
Because he's growing his hair out. So Garrett now has this cute tassel that I really like. That deserves a butterfly clip on it.
Ready.
Look at it, dude.
Yeah. So I was so I put my headphones on.
If that was spaghetti, we would split it in half.
This little thing was just all frizzy out in front.
Look at it.
So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna put that back. And then I stretched it out and I wound it up like this. And then it fell and I was like, you know what? I'm keeping it.
You know what? This is the premise for every shampoo commercial. So I struck my hair and I thought, wow, how lush, how savory, Pantene.
And they're like, they look around and I'm gone.
Yeah.
And they're like, where did he go? And they just turn around and I just pop up through the water like an Irish Spring in slow motion. It's just like, pshh. And I'm like, Ghetto Springs.
And then you're immediately tackled by SeaWorld security.
An anaconda comes out and just wraps its body around me.
Yeah. And then it slowly puts you underwater. It's like an anaconda perfume. Take a grip on your life. Oh man. That's good stuff, dude. That's good stuff. So tell me, dude, how's your week going?
I lost control of my children in a Denny's last night.
Uh-huh.
So Audrey had a meeting, and of course I was banished. So
What kind of meeting?
We had CryFest 2025.
What meeting was this?
For her first impression. She leads the team here at church. It's a large team. So
I pictured her with a group of like 30-something-year-old women in khakis. Like, okay, so how's your first impression on Dave?
Yeah.
They didn't really like him all that much.
I pictured her as an impressionist sitting next to, I almost said Dave Grohl. What's his name? Van Gogh. Wasn't he an impressionist?
Dave Grohl as Van Gogh. Can we cast this?
Yeah.
It was like, hey, Van Gogh, how's your art? It was the best. The best. And his ears
He just
gone.
throws a bunch of paint on it and it just becomes dandelions
It's just amazing.
or sunflowers, whatever that one is.
We're going to nickname this one Nirvana.
So I made my kids cry.
Oh, sign of great parenting.
I had to leave at a certain time, and because the guests were coming over, and I just picked up my kids
Like by the waists, holding out like luggage.
and I brought them out to the car, and
them in the car,
Lord knows did they scream.
Oh, I bet they did.
Oh yeah, it was one of those things. It was like a snowball where you just can't stop it. And halfway down Lake Breeze, it was just like, just at a constant scream.
The guests come over and you're hauling your children into the car, and the guys are like, well, okay, so about first impressions.
Yeah. I was just dragging them out to the car, dude. It was bad.
Yeah.
It was really bad. We had a discussion about it later, but like, when the kids don't want to go, like they're just not going to go. So, I took them to Denny's because I didn't know what to do.
Nice. I mean, that's where we all go when we don't know what to do.
Yeah. I have some pictures of them sitting all nice and just coloring.
Nice.
And by the end of the ordering process, they were gone. They were just completely gone. I let them pick out their own meals, on the little kids menu that they bring you. And Graham picked this one that was like multicolored pancakes with like, the birthday cake, multicolored sprinkles in it. And if you know a thing or two about the children, the more sugar you feed them, the more they become like actual gremlins.
I actually know a thing or three.
Yeah.
About
yeah,
children.
that's right. You teach. Yeah.
Only 3.
Yeah. There's that one video that I saw this week of like, it was like things that you say every day as a middle school teacher. And it was like, stop touching him. Stop touching him. And it was like, teacher, what do? I can't turn my computer on. He was like, oh, there's this really weird thing you have to do. It's called press the on button.
Oh my gosh, dude. I swear half of my job is just restarting computers.
Yeah.
I swear it is. It is.
I
like
knew that was accurate.
I get my pay stub and it's like retirement benefits, covering other classes, restarting computers 75%. Yeah.
It was like through 3 times through the video, the teacher was just like, you turn it on.
It's so accurate.
So yeah, she brings us these pancakes that Graham ordered with multicolored sprinkles infused in them. And you know how like the chef gets to decide how much whipped cream?
Yeah.
She brought him.
Oh no.
3 mountainous size whipped cream dollops.
Mountainous whipped cream dollops.
And at that point you have to make a choice as a father.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're like, do I take this away from him and have a slightly worse night, or do I let him just eat them and have a slightly worse night?
Okay, can I play the game? All right. Did Garrett pick what was behind curtain number A or curtain number A? That is the afternoon that I am having. We'll get to that in a second. Curtain A or curtain B? Can I guess?
Yeah. I turned to my daughter who was next to me, and she was leaning, doing this back bend over the booth. The booth, like going like the divider, this to the people's hair behind them.
Oh my gosh.
And I turned back to Graham and I'm like, just eat them.
Oh, I was gonna guess number. Oh, okay, I was gonna guess letter B, but if it wasn't for L, would it have been B?
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. Yeah.
So I take them to the counter to pay, and there's a guy who gets in front of me because I'm chasing them everywhere because they're high on sugar, and they're running back and forth. And there's this old man. He's a veteran.
God
and
bless
he goes
him.
to the counter and he's just like, can I use this? And he pulls out a library card.
Oh my dear God.
I don't know what it was. It was some kind of card. And she was like, I don't know what this is, sir. And he was like, I pay with this sometimes. Yeah, I don't know what it was, some kind of card. And I look over this way, and Graham and Elle are by the claw machine, and Graham is doing this thing where he's doing this like back and forth, just because massacring it, and Elle's reaching into the cubby hole, trying to like get her little arm in there so she can get a stuffed animal.
Oh my gosh.
And I turn back to the guy and this poor woman, and he's got a Denny's card now.
Oh my gosh.
And he's going, I want to take $3 off so I can tip you.
Oh.
And then I want to see what's left on that to pay with. And she's like, sir, it doesn't work like that. And then I turn over to my kids again, and they are now on the other side of the restaurant, talking to all of the people, going table to table.
Oh my God!
I look over and I'm like, I hope nothing bad happens. And then Elle just goes and swipes a person's napkin.
Garrett.
I'm like, and then I turn back.
Yeah.
And and the guy is just like trying to explain, and I just hear him go, I'm a veteran, you know. And I'm just like, I don't want to disrespect him.
Oh my gosh. Sir.
Because he fought for a country.
So that is a Chick-fil-A gift card from 2011.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it should be good for at least a coupon. So then this woman at the bar is just like, enough of this. And then she's like, oh, you know what? I'll give you the tip, okay? And she pulls out $3 from her purse and throws it. And she's like, here, just use that.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, this is taking forever.
Yeah.
And then I turn back to my children, and they are now running circles around the waitress.
Oh my gosh.
And
Like
I'm
mosquitoes.
like, let's see what happens. Is she happy or not? And she turns around and she's got a smile, and I'm like, okay, I've got at least 10 more seconds.
Yeah. The honeymoon period will wear off, but until then, we're gonna maximize our minutes here.
Yeah. So I get to the counter and I'm like, here's my card. She swipes it and she's like, here you go. Here's your receipt. I write down the tip and we left.
Because that's how it works in modern day America.
I threw them in the car and I drove straight to McDonald's to a play place.
Oh my gosh, because they had to get that energy out, dude.
Yeah.
Where was this Denny's?
This is the one in Elyria by that dead R Small.
Yep, by Midway.
You know exactly the Denny's I'm talking about.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I was picturing the one in North Olmsted because that's the one I would always go to with my friends at 2:00 in the morning.
Yeah, they really upkept it. They did a whole upheaval. Not upheaval.
They did a whole medieval
renovation.
They're just wearing night costumes. That one has a mace.
Yeah. Just sitting there with Graham, and he's like, how am I gonna cut this pancake? And then this knight in shining armor just goes, and he takes out his big sword and just goes, cuts the entire table in half, and then stomps away. And then I'm like, was that so hard?
Yeah, it just has a bunch of Elvish like language written on it, and then he lifts up his little like eye shield things like, "Welcome to medieval Denny's."
It's just a pockmark faced kid inside.
Like, what is stopping somebody from making a medieval Denny's? Like, why? Like, you remember Dumb Starbucks?
The actual company, or is this a video?
You remember Dumb Starbucks, right? Remember the Nathan For You TV show, and then he made a Dumb Starbucks in California, and it was competing against real Starbucks. You said you were.
No, I don't.
You told me years ago that you witnessed it and that you've seen it, and that you actually shopped from there or something like that. Dumb Starbucks, remember?
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah, the Dumb Starbucks. So why can't I don't think he ever got sued. So why can't we make medieval Denny's?
I don't see there's anything stopping us except for this podcast.
Okay,
we have
so
to edit
we're
and
going to
upload.
use the proceeds now, Biscuits, from this podcast whenever we start making money, and we're going to open up a medieval Denny's.
First paycheck is going to be like $3.
Yeah, and it's like that is just enough to buy half a Denny's in this economy.
The manager we just tossed $3 bills on his desk, and he just looks up and he goes, "I'm going to be honest with you guys. That is way too much. Just take one or two of those back and we got a deal."
It's like, all right, we will only accept your deal is if in this medieval Denny's, instead of fake sprinkles, it's plague.
Yeah. So how was your week?
This week sucked, and I'm going to tell you why.
I'm so glad you didn't stop.
Yeah. Shelby has the flu.
Oh yeah, that's
so
right.
it's just sucked, man. Like, so she wasn't starting. We're recording today's Tuesday.
She had the flu last time we recorded, right?
I can't remember.
I think she did.
Maybe.
Because we don't ever chat on the phone.
No.
And I remember her being sick before.
As a matter of fact, if you ever call me, I swat your house. Like, that's just how it works. We never chat on the phone. She started feeling unwell. So today's Tuesday. She started feeling unwell on Thursday. And gotcha. So yeah, we couldn't have been recording. And she's like, I don't feel good. Blah blah blah. I have a sore throat. Blah 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 blah. And I'm just like, whenever she gets a sore throat,
for those of you taking notes for good marriages,
blah blah blah. Blah
Make
blah
sure
blah
you
blah.
don't listen.
Blah. She was actually getting like a sore throat on Tuesday of last week or Monday or something. And then on Thursday, she's like, yeah, I'm starting to feel like I'm getting like chills. And I'm like, are they multiplying? Are you losing control? And then a tissue box was thrown in my face.
Yeah. She gets sick about as much as I do, I think. Now,
yeah. It's just people with petite bodies, I suppose.
Yeah.
Just
we have nothing to fight it.
Yeah. Nothing. Yeah. Like those muscles and fats you should have. Nothing. So she's starting to feel unwell Thursday. And I'm a, you know me, I'm a guy who's always thinking about long term. I'm a numbers dude. I look at something, I think numbers. I look at this, I think numbers. And I'm looking at her. I'm like, okay, you're sick Thursday. You're probably not going to start feeling better again until Tuesday or Wednesday.
Already
of next week.
strategizing. Okay.
Yep, completely. That's how I work. She's like, and so Shelby naturally, like you, gets in denial about it because she doesn't like something telling her what to do, whether it be disease or her husband.
Or laying down.
Yeah, or laying down. So she feels terrible on Thursday, so she takes Friday off, and she's getting worse.
Does she have sick days?
Yeah, but she's using them to go on a church trip in March to Florida.
And that seems like a fault.
Yep. Yeah. And so she takes all of Friday off, and I level with her. I say, listen, we probably shouldn't paint the entire guest bedroom on Saturday because you're not going to feel well enough, and you have to go to church on Sunday to do a lesson. So we painted the entire room on Saturday.
I told her we should not do this thing, and then we proceeded to do that exact thing.
Yeah, to do that thing.
And how many years have you been married now?
Almost 5 this March.
That makes sense.
Uh-huh.
Continue.
So she's the edger. We've talked about this. She edges, I roll. And she edges one wall, and she sits down and she starts breathing really heavy. And I'm like, hey, champ.
Did you call her Sport?
How's that edging going, Sport? You want to lay down? Because you're sick.
You just hear this like, and you're like, what is that? And it's a paint roller, and it's just going up your chest.
Yeah.
And it just continues over your face.
She's like, I will finish this room. And we eventually finish the entire room, and she still has to do her lesson planning for church on Sunday morning because Shelby goes above and beyond in everything she does, including being a great wife. So I'm watching WWE Royal Rumble downstairs in my living room because, like, come on, Saturday. Like, what are we doing? Like, okay. And Shelby's trying to work on her laptop. And she's like, I got to go upstairs and work on this in the guest bedroom because we put the bed back and everything. And I'm like, sweet. Okay. I love you. Like, if you need anything, let me know. And she goes upstairs and she's gone for an hour and a half. And I'm like, kind of like an advertisement time in the show. I'm going to go up and I'm going to find her.
Uh-oh.
And I slowly creep the door open like Nosferatu. And she is completely passed out, sleeping on the bed, wrapped around the laptop with black bags under her eyes.
She lost all of her energy.
Just dead.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I just slowly shut the door again. Like, okay.
Yeah.
She woke up Sunday and
she didn't wake up till Sunday.
No. She was in denial about all of it, saying, I can go, I can teach this, I can do it.
No, that's her though.
And that's her.
Yeah.
And so I had to pry the lesson out of her cold, dead hands.
I'm not dead.
Physically wasn't hard, but mentally it was awful. And she did not want to relinquish it. And then I went to church and I taught her lesson for her because that's what I do because I love her.
Yeah.
Come to find out,
I just see you walking in, but it's like a professor setting, and you have a tweed jacket with those elbow pads.
The elbow pads, yeah.
And you just like straighten up your papers, like, and you're like, were dinosaurs in the Bible? And then they're like, Mr. Myers, this is ridiculous, and you're like, ugh. And then you just slowly lift up a dinosaur puppet.
Yeah.
You're like, and then you go, I'm a Jesusaurus Rex.
Oh my gosh.
And then
like,
it just
Mr.
cuts to a shot of Shelby in bed just going, just getting more comfortable.
Like, Mr. Myers, is this necessary? And I just put the dinosaur puppet down and I'm like, I don't know. Is going to a fake art trying to line up biblical history with real history necessary?
Yeah.
Any questions? Yeah.
And every hand just goes.
Yeah. Immediately. Like, did you know that, during the time of King David? I'm like, hey, did you know during the time of shut up? So come to find out, I take Shelby to the Tri-Health Urgent Care. So it's like Cleveland Clinic, but it's their own urgent care.
Uh-huh.
So it's definitely not shady insurance wise. I know where all my money's going.
Yeah.
And she has influenza A.
Okay.
So, she should not have been doing anything from Thursday till Sunday. But
Right.
My wife, who I love, decides to push herself, which is great until all of a sudden I have to start doing things that, I would rather
to make up. Yeah. Instead of strategizing a little better how to balance everything.
Yeah, it was more like just like we're gonna bulldoze through until the wheels fall off, and the wheels fell off Sunday morning.
Oh, they definitely do.
So
I have to say something about Shelby. She is so nice. She's really, really nice. I sent you everybody.
I pictured you taking a wheel, like I have something to say about Shelby.
She is nice.
Nice. She's nice.
I wanted to skeeve your skivvies a little bit. So I sent you a picture of me.
How do you spell that? How do you?
It's S. I don't know how to spell.
What on earth?
I sent Seth and Shelby a picture of me painting a 1 by 8 foot section of my wall because I was getting annoyed.
Oh, I forgot about that.
And I was like, this is so hard.
Yeah.
I wanted to sit down and watch Stranger Things. Why is this happening to me? And then I was like, I have some friends who are painting every spare second of every day of their entire lives for what seems now like years.
Yep. You're telling me we started in 2024.
Kind of expecting this like this grunting, bemoanced like anger returning back. Like, let me tell you something, Bucko.
Yeah.
About painting. And she responds with, "Oh, the worst part about painting is actually the cleanup, which you still have to do. So I do kind of feel sorry for you." And I was like, I wasn't expecting sympathy.
I was trolling you.
It's like I don't know what to do now.
And you are showing me kindness.
Like I literally don't know what to do now. So she's just a really nice individual.
And at that moment, Garrett Gixel's heart grew 3 times its size that day.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you just get on this giant sled and you have this talk like, "Go, Max, go!" Bam, 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 bam.
Except it pans back, but instead of panning forward to that dog, it pans backwards, and it's a turtle just bumping down the hill, going boom, boom, boom,
yeah,
boom,
just
boom,
rolling,
just
and you're just in
dragged.
the sled in a Christmas costume, and like all the Who's are down in Whoville have no idea you're on your way,
and I'm like, "Where's Max?"
Yeah, they're like, "Look, Snickers." Up there, what is that? And it's just you on a giant sled. They're like, "Oh, it's Garrett the Grinch, and he can't stop." And you just run over 17 of them with your sled. You're like, "Hey, everyone, Christmas is saved." I don't know why I named the Who Snickers. I kind of want a chocolate bar, and I feel like that's a Who name.
Yeah.
So yeah, Shelby's nice. She's
awesome.
great. Now, I'm sure when she complimented you and said that to you, she had a 101.3 fever.
Oh, so she was delirious.
So I wouldn't take that to heart.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, if anybody's temperature is over 99.9, anything they say cannot be counted as truth and or factual, which is why you should never write your will in the hospital bed. Okay?
Yeah. Save it for the casket.
So besides that, this week has just been awful. Shelby's finally on the mend. She went back to work today, but doing the chores around the house that's meant for 2 people just by 1 person, being me, is awful. And I'm completely out of whack because I'm the cook and I don't have any chicken.
Get ready to do that with 2 parasites hanging off of each leg.
Okay, but I
can
can
throwing
go,
things at you and screaming.
But I can go to the doctors for that, and they can burn them off my leg. You're talking about children, aren't
I'm talking
you?
about your kids.
Oh, okay, yeah. I can still go to the doctors for that and say, "Give me all the Adderall you have."
What are Peppermint and Nala going to say about your kids?
They're going to say nothing because cats can't talk here. We've talked about this behind the scenes.
Talk plenty. They speak multitudes with their attitude.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I have 6 raw chicken pieces that can speak to that fact.
Yeah. My cats don't pour flour all around my house though.
Yeah.
All right, Garrett, it's now time for everybody's favorite part of the podcast where you give us suggestions about how you feel about things. And today's topic, shocker, is not about Costco, but about the other C of this podcast, Canada.
That's our entire podcast.
Just Costco, Canada, and
just my ridiculous attempts at entertaining people and your actual genuine attempts at it.
For some reason,
Successful
at the
ones.
end of all things, we will have fought the horde of hell, the legions of Satan's armies, and somehow we will always end up in Canada.
Yeah.
So let's just rip this Band-Aid off, pal. What's your suggestions?
So you know how we're renaming the Gulf of Mexico?
We're not.
I kind of figured that, like all things, Canada would follow suit. And so I
don't know what
figure
this
it's
we
only a
thing
matter
is.
of time before they're renaming the Great Lakes.
Oh, you can't get better than Lake Superior. It's
I
literally
think you
the top
can.
echelon of a name. It's
I think you
Superior.
can.
Oh, okay. All right.
So in the time frame that
Yeah.
Canada decides to do this, we will have exploded on the internet,
yes.
and this will be known. So
Okay.
I just figure let's get ahead of the curve.
I like it.
Is it curve or curb?
Curve. You're driving going 60 miles out. Let's get ahead of the curve. And you just drive right on it. Like,
I have some suggestions for Canada.
Okay.
For what to name, for what to rename your lakes.
I feel like that's the last thing they need, but you know what? Let's do it.
All right. So my suggestion for Lake Michigan, it should be renamed Lake Shove Off Hosers. And if you don't like that suggestion, we can call it Lake You've Got a Bag, I've Got a Bag of Milk.
Why did I sign up for this?
You didn't. I made the agenda, remember?
Oh, that's right. I just have to follow along.
Lake Erie can be
no.
Lake Stay Over There, guy.
Oh. Oh my gosh.
Lake Ontario, we can call it Lake, since it's the closest one to the French-speaking part, we can call it Lake Sin Notre Cible de Reb Pot-Levu.
Was that your attempt at French?
That is French for this is our maple syrup, not yours.
Why couldn't you named Ontario that? Because that isn't. Oh wait, that is Ontario.
Yeah,
So you want to?
yeah.
Okay, because that's close to Quebec, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Lake Superior can be called Lake Sorry Not Sorry.
Oh, like okay, yeah. No, that actually makes sense.
And if you don't like that suggestion, the backup can be Lake What a Kerfuffle.
Oh my gosh. Are we out of lakes yet?
There's one more.
Okay.
Lake Huron
Huron.
can just stay Lake Huron.
Okay, Huron. Not Huron.
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 Yeah. I need a Huron.
Huron, I need a Huron till the end of the night. He's gotta be cool and he's gotta be Canadian and he has to be fat with syrup.
The alternate names for this one can be Don't Let Your Imagination Run a Canuck.
I'm just waiting for the drums to take us out of this hell. Garrett, I have been waiting in suspense, literally frozen in carbonites like Han Solo from Star Wars.
What did Jabba the Hutt say?
Uka chika nakawata
I just pictured us in Jabba's fortress, and C-3PO is about to announce my IQ, and he's like, Garrett Gitchell's IQ is, and then it's like, and you're just like, no.
Yeah. I pictured us in Jabba's palace and we're both frozen in carbonite together.
Yeah.
And Leia thinking that it's Han Solo's. It's actually us and we're trying to do it. And Jabba's like, no, and like unfreeze it. And we're both like, and then it unfreezes and we both fall to the ground. And you're just breathing heavily and you're just going. And that's why Canada, all of your lakes should have a different name. And I'm just like, Garrett, this is why Canada's freezing us right now because wait, where are we? And it's just in Jabba's palace.
And I'm like, wait, okay. In that case, I'd like to retry that. Canada.
And Leia immediately just freezes us in carbonite again. they move the Han Solo right after that.
We both freeze at the same time, and we're both in there just like on top of each other's faces like this.
Yeah.
And then Shelby's who is dressed as Princess Leia is like, no, and then she's like, you know what? Actually, this is fine.
No, this is good. This will make for a very quiet ride home.
And she's driving the barge, but we're in the back just like this.
Yeah, just like frozen, but like smiling, like just go frozen in carbonite. That's awesome.
Okay, so I actually don't know how to do this, dude.
You speak into the microphone. We talked about this in episode 1.
So there's a lot to cover, and I do want to do this quickly because this cannot be the entire episode.
So tell me about your IQ.
Problem, here's my first problem.
Did I say that at the beginning? Did I say I'm waiting in suspense for your IQ? Or did we just pause on suspense?
And I'm drawing it out more just for the fun of it.
Okay, thank God.
So we were supposed to record today, and I didn't have my report. I'm supposed to get a written report of everything.
Oh, so you don't have it yet?
I am looking at the clock, and it's about time to record. It's like 3 o'clock. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to get this report. I'm going to have to go creatively think of something to read.
Okay.
2:21 p.m., 40
good.
minutes before the recording begins,
Right.
they send me this report. It is
Finally.
in my hot little hand.
I'm a hot little potato right now. Oh man.
So I did read through it, and it's pretty long, so I'm not going to read it. I just found some, one or two.
Oh my
key-
dear God, it's happening to me.
Yeah, good luck.
Now I'm getting
you're
the
about to
flu.
get sick.
Okay,
Good thing
go
we're
ahead.
recording now.
No, go ahead.
So to save everybody time, I just memorized where a few key spots were to read that might be of interest to a few people. But here's the thing. Through this report, I don't know what to do now because my test score and my doctor evaluated me at 2 different IQs.
That is a very interesting thing. So
I don't know what to do because my score said one thing, but my doctor literally said in this report, I know your score said one thing, but I actually believe that your IQ is instead.
So why don't we go
So
with
what do we do?
I want us to go with what the doctor thinks.
Are you sure about this?
Okay, all right. You know what? Tell me both. What was the what did the report say? What did the report say?
All right. Everybody, after
67.
after how many weeks? How many weeks have been waiting for this?
Oh my gosh, I don't know, because we talked about a few episodes ago about how you're getting a psychiatric evaluation.
So you and
then
I
it was
have
an
been waiting
ADHD
for, like-
test. Now it's been an IQ test.
At least a month of waiting. It is
At
now
least.
going to finally be revealed that my IQ is as the drums start to roll.
Whopping.
1.
Okay.
That's it. It's
Oh,
1.
okay. Yeah. So Garrett is full brain stem.
It's 1. My IQ is 1.
Yeah, he can breathe and nothing more.
Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
111. That is my IQ.
Okay, now here's the awesome thing about all this, okay? I have no idea what that means. Because I think last week you told me all the brackets, and I'm actually the one, I think, with ADHD out of the two of us, and I'm like, huh? What do all that mean? So what is a 111? Nice 111, by the way, really easy to remember.
Yeah. So, all right. So I'm going to read the distinctive IQ levels that were determined by Louis Terman in 1916.
Oh,
All right. So these are the supposed alleged.
so a guy in 1916, back before we had penicillin, is going to give us accurate IQ information?
Well, it's just kind of the standard that normally these are broken down by. All right.
So a guy who was 4 years removed from a boat hitting an iceberg that they called unsinkable and sank is going to tell us about IQ in 2025.
They were smart back then. They actually had to read.
Garrett, they rode horses into machine guns in the First World War. I don't know.
That's true. The tactics were were more advanced than the actual machinery. Okay, or we're not as advanced as the machinery.
Fine,
Okay, that's why.
let's just do this.
All
What
right,
does it mean?
so we'll start with 70. It does break it down a little earlier. For instance, below 24 IQ points is profound mental retardation.
I'm surprised they still use that word.
So it does become less profound, but it stays mental retardation for quite a while until you get into about the 70s.
Okay,
Under
just
70
like our
is
history.
known as feeble-minded.
Oh,
All right. 70 to 79 is borderline feeble-minded. 80 to 89 is dull.
I feel like that's
if you
where
are
I hang
80
out.
to 89, you are a dull.
I feel like I hang out over there. I'm on like a solid 85.
That is where I thought I was.
Okay.
All right. So, by the way, if anyone's considering doing this, don't freaking do it. This has been torture.
Don't do this, guys.
It is so hard to
It's
take
not worth it.
an honest look at yourself. And I had to tell myself, if I am dull, I'm gonna have to live with this. You know what I mean? Like,
Once you rip that, once the toothpaste out of the tube, dude, it's not going back in.
wouldn't it be better to just not know?
When I feel dumb, I just say I'm going to go build a Lego with the instructions, and it makes me feel like a bigger man.
Yeah, you're a pretty big man, and we'll find out later how
I'm a pretty big man.
why I think your IQ is where it is.
I'm 5'8", and I'm almost 200 pounds. I am a big man, but in the unhealthy way.
Yeah, no, you're healthy. So 90 to 109.
Okay.
This is where the biggest percentile is, right?
90
so
to 109.
the most amount of people in the world are in this category.
Average.
60% of all people are in this category.
Okay.
Now my IQ test said that I was 104.
But your doctor says you're
My
111?
doctor said 111. Now, here's why this is confusing, because the next level is 110 to 119, and that is superior intelligence.
Interesting.
So,
That doesn't seem like
what
you would-
am I?
that
Am I
doesn't-
normal? Am I superior than you? I don't know.
That does see, and that's why you never should have gotten this, because the moment you get superior intelligence, you're going to start walking around with that king robe we told you never to wear again.
Yeah, no, it's just internal. It's just an internal robe. But see, this is why I'm angry, because if my test is correct, I'm normal, average intelligence. But if my doctor is correct,
yeah,
I am superior.
this is a big deal for you. This will change the way you carry yourself the rest of your life.
I'm
This
just grateful I wasn't dull.
This will change the way you approach a Wendy's lobby. Out of my way, peasants! I am superior.
You have to be careful not to get too full of yourself. But the reason my test scored so low was because one of the categories, the one where it's working memory, the one where you have to do math in your head,
I hate that one, dude.
it was so low.
I
It
hate
was
that.
like distinctively lower than the other 9 categories. The one category was like in the 30th percentile, which is like 70% of people are better at it than I am. That's how low I was.
I'm really bad at math too in my head. Like that would wreck me every single time.
I think you'd be surprised, because I think if you sat down, it was not timed, so you could think as long as you wanted and hear it as many times as you wanted. But I just gave up. I was like, I'm just not going to be able to do it. You could probably sit there and think through it. So 120 to 140 is very superior, and over 140 is considered genius.
Oh, nice.
So, now to give you a little bit of better understanding, I found a quick video here that I'm just going to say as I watch it. It breaks down IQ points by jobs.
Oh, okay.
All right. And this is short. So I'm just going to read them as they scroll across my screen.
Okay, I'm ready.
Janitors. This is where it starts.
Come on, man. They are, and I'm not being sarcastic, they are the backbone of society.
If
Nothing would
nobody
get
cleaned
done.
up trash or took out trash, what would happen
or
to us?
cleaned my classroom, like, honest to God, janitors, I love you. Thank you
Yeah.
for what you do.
So this is
honestly.
the average IQ of these
Custodians.
professions.
Yes.
So janitors, custodians, 86.
All right.
89 factory packers and sorters. 90 unskilled laborers.
That's me.
90.
I did
You
a
just show
week
up
and
at your job interview and you're like job recruiters behind you, like
Yeah.
with your principal in front of you, and they're like, "We just want to clear the room. He's very unskilled."
Yeah, I honestly did landscaping for a week and a half, and I said nope.
So 93 truck drivers, 94 metal workers, 95 gardeners, 96
Lovely.
general labor,
Okay,
96 also farmers, 97 carpenters,
nice.
97 cooks,
Okay,
97 checkers and inspectors, and it has a picture of a gentleman in a Sherlock Holmes hat with a magnifying glass. So I don't know what that is.
inspector. So Sherlock Holmes is just in the late 90s. That's all.
I think it's like inspectors, like your house
yeah,
inspectors.
I guess
98 warehouse men.
not women.
I don't know why it says men.
But men.
99 plumbers,
Lovely.
103 store managers,
Okay.
and 103 shopkeepers.
I can. Okay, all right. I can see
So
that.
this is where it gets a little bit touchy for me, because I'm starting to like hit where my score says I
You're
am.
starting to get into the shopkeeper area.
I could be a manager or a shopkeeper.
Garrett's just sweeping the floor like, we're closed. 104.
104.
104. We're closed.
103 butchers.
Okay.
Now the next category just skips me altogether. 105 machine operators.
Oh,
So I'm somewhere between a butcher and a machine operator.
right.
106 mechanics.
All right.
108 police officers.
Like it.
109 electricians.
Okay.
112 clerks.
All right.
113 finance and real estate.
I believe that.
114 foremen. 114 salesmen. 116 managers of salesmen.
there you
116 cashiers.
Absolutely.
118 production managers.
All right.
119 nurses.
Okay.
120 court stenographers. That's actually really interesting.
Wait, what was that?
court stenographers.
Where they
like the
record?
people who do shorthand in the court, like they write as the people are
Oh
speaking
my gosh,
and
I
they type
would
as
love to
fast.
do that one day, man. Like that's been my dream, just to record drama.
Well, I think you could do it, and here's why. Because here's the next category: 121 school teachers.
Oh, who's that?
So, I think you are in this category. I mean, it doesn't make delineation. Another video I saw said it didn't matter if it was high school or middle school or just all general school educators are thought to have an average of 121 average IQ.
Interesting.
So you are probably smarter than me. 122 general managers in business, 122 education administrators. So this is what I don't get. 121, you can be a teacher. 122, you can administrate the teachers.
It's just 1 point.
It's
just 1 point. Yeah.
123 accountants, 125 engineers, 126 lawyers, 128 surgeons, 133 professors and researchers, and it stops there.
140. System
Nobody.
processing. Yeah.
I saw a statistic that said 0.24 of all people are 140 and above.
So where do pastors rank on this?
They're not on here.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
It started at what was it? 86
Right.
with janitors.
Okay. Pastors, 55.
So there you go. I am somewhere between normal intelligence and superior intelligence.
Nice, dude.
So-
Seriously, that is such an accomplishment.
What was your guess?
I was going to say above average.
Oh, you were? Oh, that's so nice.
100%. I was going to say above average. I was thinking, I don't know the numbers. I was going to say 2 ticks above average.
Yeah.
So, kind of entering that above average lane, but you still have social, emotional qualities that make you average. I would say, because there's normal intelligence and then there's social, emotional intelligence, I would say social, emotionally, you are highly superior. Because there are just some people that are so socially, emotionally dumb.
Yeah.
Where they just don't
get a clue. Yeah.
understand.
And some people, those who have Asperger's, for instance, they just don't have social cues.
Right.
So they're smart, but they don't have the same social awareness as everybody else.
And I'm not talking about people with Asperger's or people with autism, right? Like we
you're
know
talking about just regular,
ordinary
intelligent
people who have an average IQ but are so socially, emotionally stupid.
Yeah, right.
That I'm just like, how don't you understand this?
Yeah. So a couple notes to note here. It gives me my whole background of information. They really do a deep dive here, and this thing costs like $1,600 to do.
$1,600? Did your insurance cover it?
Yeah. So
thank God.
they really do a deep dive, and just to give you a taste at the beginning here, it starts out with Mr. Gitchell is a 37-year-old male who goes by Garrett, born in Fresno, California.
But his real name is
and it just goes from there. Mr. Gitchell
awesome.
went to a number of schools, blah blah blah. Describes my entire education process. In grade school, Mr. Gitchell earned B, C's, and 1 A. So there you go. If a class seemed useful to him, he participated and did well. Mr. Gitchell always did homework, but would forget it about 50% of the time. At home, I think is what he meant. It says here, skipping down, Mr. Gitchell was suspended once after he wore a shirt with print on it. Because the previous day his teacher reminded him that he could not wear a shirt with print on it.
Isn't that
he accidentally wore that shirt again the next day? What's that?
Isn't that when you switched back from public to homeschool after you got suspended?
That I believe was when I was in middle school.
Okay.
It says, but his teacher thought this was a willful rebellion and suspended him immediately.
I thought you were homeschooled, so your aunt suspended you?
No, I'm in middle school. I went to a private Christian school for a couple years.
I thought you.
I know it's all over the place.
I need to track this later. Go ahead.
Yeah. Skipping for the sake. Let's skip to college, shall we?
This is your choice.
Mr. Gitchell went on to Hill Song Church, 2 words, in Australia, and studied how to create Christian music.
He dropped out after a year. They just give you a tambourine. You're like, ding, ding. All right, I get it now. I can leave.
They're like, get out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so moving on. Currently, Mr. Gitchell works as an associate pastor at blank church. When he arrived, the church consisted of 350 members, but has since grown to an average of about 1,000 attendants on a Sunday.
It wasn't 350. It was like 500.
No, that's about what it was.
No
we were averaging
freaking
350.
way.
Yeah. As the church has increased in size, it's become more of a challenge not to disappoint others.
Wow. Wow.
Work-life imbalance has become more of an issue.
He has a very unhealthy fear of the feline population.
Yeah, so this is all just looking in.
I want to know what the blank stuff was. Okay, hold on. Let me try. You don't have to say it, but I'm totally going to. I'm totally going to trash this for you. Garrett has a minor fixation on clowns. And you're just stalking. It's a horror movie, but you're stalking the killer clown.
Yeah, and I'm just looking up, and I'm like, I have dreams, and the clown is just like, they're the creepy kind, not the good kind.
Yeah, and you just and as he's talking, your hand just goes into the camera frame, and you just honk his nose. He's like, "Get me out of here!"
Mr. Gitchell achieved a full-scale IQ on the test of 104, which is an average range in the 61st percentile, which means that, what's 61 minus 100? 39?
I told you I can't do math quickly.
Yeah,
so give it to me verbally.
So I am apparently above 61% of people on average.
Does that make you feel good about yourself, Garrett? Huh?
There is, however, a significant range in his cognitive index within one category. For this reason, I believe his general ability score of 111 in terms of intelligent quota, which is in the high average range of the 77th percentile, may be a better estimate of his overall intelligence. So read what you want about that, but I'm somewhere in the middle there.
Okay, can I ask something real quick?
Yep.
Do you have ADHD or not?
Yes,
because you have spent 15 minutes talking about this, and I just want to know.
I'm more interested in my IQ. Okay, so let's skip down to the diagnosis.
Nobody else is. Do you have ADHD or not?
Okay, diagnosis.
Oh my gosh.
F90.0.
What does
Attention
that
deficit
mean?
hyperactivity disorder, inattentive type.
Yeah, okay.
F40.10, social anxiety disorder. And I also have F33.0, which is major depressive disorder. Yeah, so I have 3 problems according to this. I can't pay attention, I hate everybody, and I get depressed.
Is that all?
So I'm the inattentive type. I'm not the hyperactive type. The hyperactive type is the kind that's like they're doing something and they're like, plastic bag.
Yeah.
And that's why he didn't recommend medication, because basically what that is it'll make sure that you stay focused on what you're doing. Sure. I don't have that. I have the kind that I'm like, I don't care what you're saying, so I'm not going. My brain literally says I'm going to forget this the second you stop talking.
Yeah. Like funny side trail. So I've been talking to a counselor lately because we're just in that time of year where like it gets cloudy.
Yeah.
And like test prep's coming up and I'm stressed. So I just need to like vent and I just need to talk. And my counselor's like, so, okay, you said that everything you see is numbers. And I'm like, yeah, like every single thing I see. They're like, and you have to have things a certain way or blah, 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 this, that, or that. And I'm like, yeah. And they kind of just cock their head to the side. They're like, do you think, and I'm like, oh, and I'm like, my eyes start getting wider. I'm like, no,
yeah,
like that you quite possibly, I'm like, no, could have.
Yeah.
I'm like, don't say it.
You're not saying it out loud though. Your brain going, no, right?
No. Yeah. And they're like, just on the spectrum of ADHD. I'm like, son of a gun. And I like flip the table over. And I'm like, Garrett.
Drinks go everywhere.
Yeah. So I actually was just recommended to go get an ADHD test myself.
Oh no, are we doing this now?
I think I need to talk to my insurance and I need to figure out
if I need like a doctor's do the real one. Yeah.
So they might be locking me up in a room for 5 hours.
I want to know.
Yeah, I
really am interested, although I love you. So I don't actually want to see you go through this because it is torturous. So torturous, in fact, that you will run into handicapped signs, apparently, with your car after it.
You're waiting outside the door, and, like, I go in, and it's just like, bye, Garrett. Bye, Seth. Good luck. And then, time goes by, and I open the door, and I'm laughing with the doctor around my arm. Like, that was great, Glenn.
Yeah.
Same time, same place again. Was that really just 5 hours? Tell the kids I said hello. I'll see you on the back 9 of the greens. And then, like, I walk down, and you look at the doctor. You're like, so? And he's like, that man has massive ADHD. We didn't even take the test. My name's not even Glenn. So, yeah, my counselor recommended that I actually go get an ADHD test, that I go and get tested for that stuff.
Horrible, dude. It's awful.
I guess now I have to go do this.
The only thing I can say is just get secure with yourself first. Because if you're not, you will not make it through this alive.
So I am the middle child of 5 and of 2 divorced parents. I will never be comfortable with myself. Let's do this.
I think you'll be okay because I honestly think if you do take it, you'll be in like the 77th percentile, like me.
like me.
The different like quick clips of me turning around. The one I'm in like a parking vest.
Yeah.
And I'm like me. And then the next one I'm in a lawyer suit. And I'm like me. And then the next one turns around, I'm in a hairnet and I'm like, we gotta feed America.
Oh my gosh. And then you turn around again and it's like me, but it's someone dressed like you with your wig, but it's a different actor.
Yeah.
Garrett, we have hit another car with our bike. No, we.
How did we do this?
We got back 40 episodes, man.
Did you know?
No, I didn't.
The more you know, and
it's
then
just
the star just goes
across.
across.
Yeah, but it like crashes into a planet and explodes. And then Superman's ship is just going out of it. Like,
and then you pop out of a door and you're like, "What's all that noise out here?"
Yeah.
So I don't know how we did this, but we recorded 40 of these. How did we do that?
I think the world is a far worse place.
I have to say something about this. We've been deleting things off of the metaverse because we have no room anymore in our shared drives.
Yeah.
So this has sent me into, and then also I had a friend who started listening and he went through a bunch of episodes in the early days.
Right.
Which sounds like it was forever ago, but this is actually just June.
Yeah. Just June.
But it was long enough ago that I didn't remember what we did.
Yeah.
So I was a curious little critter.
Okay.
And I went back and I listened to like the first 4 episodes.
I would like to rewind.
And we were so different.
Critters? We were, dude. It was crazy.
It's such a trip thinking about how far we've come in 40 episodes, how much we've changed.
I have literally gained and lost weight.
Yeah. And it was 117 pounds.
Yeah,
by the
dude.
way, yeah, I've gained IQ points.
Yeah, or lost. I don't know. Maybe you're at 117 before this podcast.
Yeah.
I just want to say I'm so proud and I really am super happy. And it's an honor to have more banter biscuits now than how we started. I can say that in the past week, we've already gained 4 more followers. It's been really awesome. And like getting to episode 40, like I thought maybe we'll get to episode 9. And then we'll just be done.
You did? You thought that?
I did. I'm like, maybe we'll get to 9 and then school start and I'm not going to want to do this anymore.
And you thought it was going to be like one of those really great shows with like 1 season.
Yeah.
And like, it's like, oh, that's a classic show. We should remake that on NBC.
Firefly. We're both thinking Firefly. Yeah. Next time on Ocean's Gravy.
Yeah, by the way, we're still not out of the filthy 50.
We're not out of the filthy 50s yet, so banter biscuits.
We still have permission to be crappy.
So yeah, we're going to continue being poor quality until episode 50. And then we're going to be slightly better quality, but not
So
perfect.
we have a couple of announcements because we hit 40 and we've been saving this.
Yeah, I'm super excited.
We teased this a little bit on social media, but we're now looking at doing some video episodes.
So
you not only have to listen to our gross, ugly voices, you can now watch our gross, ugly faces.
I had a friend because we're currently, and biscuits, if you don't know this, go to our social media pages, whether TikTok, Facebook, or Instagram. We have an X page, but that's more just for like words, right? Words. I had a friend who saw one of our what we call banter bites, right? Just little clips of like segments of our episodes, no longer than a minute and a half.
I like to think of them as our little incomplete children that we're creating out of like a machine.
Did you they're
just being fed into the internet. via like a suction tube.
I am not comfortable with this analogy.
One just comes out of the oven, and I'm like, we got another one, and I'm just holding it with ovens, and you're like,
Oven mitt.
throw it in, and then just throw it into the internet, and just goes,
Yeah. And one of my friends was watching one of our banter bites. He's like, wow, Garrett looks nothing like he sounds. Yeah. That's literally what he told me. And I'm like, he looks great, doesn't he?
Like,
and then he like,
no,
not at all. Not at all.
Matter of fact, we're going to check in on him. Is he okay?
Yeah, no, he's not.
He looks like an actual skeleton.
He can't decide with his IQs, and that will change his personality type depending on where he lands. So we're going to be posting some video stuff soon, like full episodes on YouTube, which we're super excited to announce. But we also are going to start interviewing people and talking to people.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to have our very first guest, which I am terrified about.
And the segment is going to be called Gravy Guests.
Dude, it took so long to mad scientist this relationship into existence, and now we're going to throw in a genetically modified element into the beaker and see what comes out.
Yeah. So everybody stay tuned, because we're going to be having a very close and good friend of ours named Mike Babbitt on this show. He I don't want to give too much away about him, but he is awesome. One of the most eccentric guitar shredding, landscaping owning, selling, motocross riding dude. I don't even know how.
He also owns a business that he created.
I thought he did. I thought he sold it.
Oh yeah, he also sold his own business.
Yeah, like there's a lot about this guy that we're super excited to interview. Are we interviewing him next episode?
Next episode.
Dude,
so yeah, when you
so
turn this off and turn
man.
on the next one, you'll hear him.
Yeah.
So I encourage you, give us some grace.
And also give us a 5-star review and click and follow wherever you're listening to, so we can keep the podcast going for another 40 episodes.
Wherever books are sold.
No, not there.
All right. Take care, ladies
and gentlemen. Garrett.